Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father, and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Harachak Wadash. Alright, the bonus for the apostles and others at Great Millstone who rule well and taught us to this 100% truth. Much peace and blessings be unto you, hopefully like that to push not this word of thought, truth, and sincerity. Alright, Shalom. This is going to be a quick video going in the spirit, talking about the protection and preservation of the men of the Lord, the 144,000 sermons of prophets. And this video comes by way of a message I received at 7:00 a.m. Which the word, we all know that the number 7 is the number of completion. But anyways, it was a message from T-Mobile, and we all know that T-Mobile will be sending out, announcements to each of our cell phones by different numbers. In this case, it was a 7474. All right, and if you rearrange the numbers from 474, you rearrange them, it gives you a 744. And also the number 7 is interchangeable with the 1. So what does that bring you? A 144, which ultimately is a spiritual sign of hope in our case in these times. Or in 2022, the year of turn up, where everything are turned up to the max. Likewise for these spiritual signs everywhere. You turn on the TV, all right, you see a 744, watching the news, or you open a book, you flip the page, and automatically you're on page 441 and such and such. All right, that's really the spirit, man. Just encouraging you to keep on going harder, man. Or when you're feeling vexed, just to keep on enduring it all, man. But anyways, that number sent me a message saying, thanks for adding protection 360. And that was really the spirit. Even the fact that I received the 474 and that number sent me a message talking about protection, that's the Lord speaking, The Lord did that on purpose, to encourage us and to tell us that if Lord were with those men, they're going to be preserved from the said perils, and it's like the said perils to come. Ultimately, that thermonuclear destruction. And how can you identify, a man of the Lord to be preserved from a normal nigga or just a heathen? Well, simple, because we're gonna do the works, man. We're gonna bring forth good fruits. All right, you could tell us through the spirit, All right, you can see right through us. And that's why when a normal wicked Jake or just a normal heathen walks by to you in public, they just start staring at you because their demons are staring at you, The demons are looking at you. They're like, I recognize you. All right, you're one of those men of the Lord, huh? They could see that glow. But anyways, this is the book of Deuteronomy, the 6th chapter, verse 24. And the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes. All right, the Lord Yahweh commanded us to do all these statutes, which He gave us by way of Moses, to fear the. And basically, the first few chapters in the book of Deuteronomy, if I'm not mistaken, or practically the whole book of Deuteronomy is just a quick recap of what happened in the previous books. So, and the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Lord our power for our good always, that He might preserve us alive as it is this day. As it is at this day. All right, to preserve us alive. And as you see in various times, you read about certain accounts where Jake that provoked the Lord, they always got slew. A plague happened, or serpents just started attacking them, or they just fell dead. Or like that one time with that one bug out that tried to go against Moses. The earth opened up and ate him alive, and his friends and his families and their families. So because they always went off. But ultimately, we know if you guys continue in the ways of righteousness, which you were given, you shall have prolonged life. That's what it means. It ain't talking about, prolonged. You don't get prolonged life. Like, you got a bunch of niggas out there, In this case, I know a bunch of Zacharias, they always say this, being the so-called religious person they are, being a Jehovah's Witness or something like that or whatnot. They say that you get prolonged life if you continue on in Esau's economy. Did you hear that? Esau's economy. Like, bro, what the hell? That's literally retarded. That's retarded, man. Cause Where's that in the scriptures? Where's that in the scriptures? They have to continue and eat, and you have to continue, so like they have to partake and embrace and rejoice Esau's rulership. You have to embrace your captivity in order to get long life. That's a curse right there. That's straight out hell, man. That's straight out hell. Having to live, at least like 110 years in this captivity, being beaten down, or being called out, being a byword and astonishment to the heathen. They're always mocking and scoffing, and you're the center of the joke. That's a literal curse to be alive for a prolonged time in this captivity. And and Jake glorify that, man. That's retarded, man. Hell no, man. That's why Jake, when they know they're about to die, they just accept their fate. They're like, I'm thankful. That's what they say, man. Ultimately they're thankful that they go back to the spirit world because they don't have to suffer anymore. So continuing on Esau's economy, which is the graduate, go to college, and get a job. That doesn't give you prolonged life, all right? That's straight out BS. Because the men of the Lord in the ancient world, they never went to no school. All right, they never went to college. All right, they never did any of that BS, man. No, all they did was hard laborer's work. Because a man is supposed to work. All right, that's what the body intends to do. The male body intends to do a bunch of labor. That's why women are a weaker vessel, because they can't do the same things we can do. But digressing back, to have prolonged life, and as you read throughout the scriptures, to have prolonged life is to keep in the ways of righteousness. Keep on following the laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, which ultimately we can't keep all of them. All right? The scriptures even make it plain that if you break one commandment, you break all laws, man. You got Sicario over there just, boasting that they do this and that. Man, get the hell out of here. And ultimately, when the flesh, we're bound to go off, all right? We ended up, horribly and horrendously defiling and breaking the first covenant. Hence the second covenant, But digressing back, the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Lord, our power, because the word fear doesn't necessarily mean, to acknowledge and be scared of that you're nothing compared to an omnipotent power above who created everything. All right, fear doesn't necessarily only mean that. I mean, that's half of it, but the other half consists of you actually doing the will of him. Because if you're going to be scared of something and he commands you to do something, you're going to do it, man, because you don't want to get killed. That's the whole point. Submit to an omnipotent power, man. But yeah, you niggas want to do that, and you guys going to get destroyed, man. Plain and simple. Simple. So, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive, man. And like I said earlier, you could tell us by our good fruits, man. All right, now more so than ever in these times, because the main goal of being a Hebrew Israelite in this walk is to be like an Yahweh Shai, being perfect. Which that would not happen until the spiritual bodies, but we're better than our previous selves. All right, day by day, we're better than our previous selves, man. All right. A precept to that would be in the book of Psalms, the 1st chapter, verse 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he do, it shall prosper. All right, so we're going to be like a tree planted, man. Bringing forth good fruits. And that's how you could tell. And that's how you could identify a man of the Lord, from a normal person. Because our works and our faith and our belief in the Lord will deliver us. Lord will us, man. No one else can do that. All right, the Lord has to give you that spirit to actually, do the works and have that faith. You have to have the spirit to do that. Not everybody's gonna have that spirit. That's why you got a bunch of Old Testament Israelites that only keep the laws, but deny Yahweh Shai. That's because they don't know him. All right, so verse 25 in Deuteronomy the 6th chapter, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments. Hey, see that? Because these are the ways of righteousness. And if you remember back in the ancient world, back in the antediluvian, which is the pre-flood times, back when Noah's time, before the flood, You know, we were given the law orally, not written down on stone or on paper like we have right now, but it was orally given, and it was. So that's how we kept the laws, you know, back in the antediluvian. All right, but yeah, I wish I even made the notion that he is a bread, the bread that cometh from heaven, right? And he said, and he even mentioned after that he that believeth on me shall never hunger. Actually, I'll get that out, you know, because I was gonna bring up a point with that just came into my mind. All right, so Lockie, this is the book of John, the 6th chapter, verse 32. Then Yahweh Shai said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of Yahweh is he which cometh down from heaven. And it's talking about Yahweh Shai, he came down from heaven, and giveth life unto the world. And then said they unto him, Lord, evermore give us this bread. And Yahweh Shai said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. But I say unto you that ye have seen me and believe not. All that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out. For I came down from heaven not to do mine own will, but the will of him that sent me. Again, proving the point that Yahweh Shai made it significant that he came down here to do the will of the Father. All right, whatever he spoke, whatever he did, whatever doctrine he brought out was based off of what Yahweh gave him. And this is the Father's will which has sent me, that of all which he hath given me, I shall lose nothing, but shall raise it up again at the last day. This is the will of him that sent me, that everyone which seeth the Son and believeth on him may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up the last day. All right, so see all these Old Testament, you know, crackheads. They're gonna get the sword rather than actual life, everlasting life. Another precept I wanted to get out was the book of James, the 1st chapter, verse 26. All right, this is the book of James, the 2nd chapter, verse 26. For as a body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. So the majority of these wacky-tacky Christians and other vain religious buffoons that claim to be, children of the Lord, which they ain't anything. They're the nation of Israel, but they ain't true children of the Lord. All right, because they don't know him. All right, they don't know the Lord like we do. So they don't got any works. They just have faith. They just believe, but they don't truly believe, because if you truly believed, you're actually gonna do the works, man. You're actually gonna do what was commanded of you. You're actually gonna serve, but you don't serve for anything, because you guys are just a bunch of idiots, man. Getting ready for that slaughter. So the men that are gonna do the works, that are gonna keep the faith, they're the ones that are gonna be preserved from the said perils to come, man. And what said perils? All right, what's happening, that third woe? All right, the thermonuclear destruction that's at hand, because the Lord's pissed off at this place. All right, the famine of bread, the literal famine of bread, because it's all with design. And scriptures talk about how the Father shall eat the Son, and the Son shall eat the Father, and such and such. People shall invade one another for lack of bread. Just a great tribulation at hand. In this year to come, Lord will, we believe, Lord will, he comes back, this year. We believe he's going to come back this year. So from all this pain, death, and destruction that's going to hit America, we're going to be preserved from all this, man. 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, verse 8. So like verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works, and by faith, or by ye have believed. All right, but guess what it means by belief? To actually, fulfill to actually comply, to actually, do the works, man. To keep the laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. So shall be preserved from the said perils. That word peril means a serious and immediate danger. And that's what's coming to this earth, man. That's why the scriptures talk about how woe unto the inhabitants that of the earth, really paraphrasing along those lines, because the Lord's coming, the Lord's visiting this earth, and He's coming with the sword of destruction, man. So, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by His works and by faith whereby ye have believed shall be preserved from the said perils and shall see my salvation in my land, because we're gonna get beamed up and be delivered back to our land, all right, which ain't only which isn't only gonna be the same allotted plots of land that was given to the 12 tribes of Israel, to our forefathers back in the ancient world. All right, it's not gonna be that way anymore. No, sir, man. We're not gonna only inherit that part. We're gonna inherit the whole Fertile Crescent. Now, how beautiful is that? Ranging down from Lower Egypt and Upper Egypt on down to Phoenicia, all right, and all over Assyria, Mesopotamia. So from Egypt to the Persian Sea, we're gonna have it all that if you know what I'm talking about. Search the Fertile Crescent, or I'll probably put it on the screen. But you see the map, and that's the whole plot of landmass we're gonna receive, the best of the best, right? The Fertile Crescent. Why you think it's called fertile? Because the word fertile means able to conceive, producing, or capable of producing abundant vegetation or crops. And the kingdom, man, we're gonna have a bunch of fields, man. Our palaces are gonna be the kingdom styled plantations of the world, of the world to come. How you had Esau's plantations with the little square, 2-story mansion. Well, our plantations are gonna be little palaces, and we're gonna have a bunch of slaves and big old fields, bigger than what Esau had, bigger than what Jake had to go through. You Edomites are gonna catch hell, man. You Edomites are gonna catch hell. All right, so all that land is gonna be for us. So shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Sanctify them, which means to be separated, because we're holy. We're consecrated. We're separated from the rest of of our people, man. All right, we're separated from the 2/3 of our people. We're separated from the other heathen nations. All right, we're sanctified for the Lord's sake from the beginning, because He predestined us from the beginning of the foundations of the earth, as the scriptures talk about. Because this is basically all a movie. Or you can't make yourself of the elect, like we always say. The elder Apostle Torah always says that you can't make yourself of the elect. Only the Lord can. So I just want to bring that point out, that we're gonna be preserved. And lastly, I like to end it off with the book of Psalms, the 32nd chapter, verse. Oh, just look. Verse 5. I acknowledged my sin unto thee, and mine iniquity have I not hid. I said, I will confess my transgressions unto the Lord, and thou forgivest the iniquity of my sin. Selah. And the elect, we're always going to ask for forgiveness, man. For this shall everyone that is godly pray unto thee in a time when thou mayest be found. And this is a time for the Lord to be found. This is the grace period, which is ending very soon. This ain't no cliche, man, as this is the year of turn up, And ultimately, we've been talking about how there's going to be few believers, even in Jacob's trouble, that they're going to turn back. All right, because the Lord is making Himself known by His miracles, by His terrible works. You can read about that in Psalms 66 chapter, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, verse 6 again. For this shall everyone that is godly, and godly means moral, and we're moral. We're moral. Because we have these laws, so like we have the scriptures, which consists of wise counsel, wise counsel. And yeah, it is a law, statutes, and commandments as well, because the Lord is a power of knowledge, and whatever He gave us, it's a wise thing. You could even read about that in the book of Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter, how this is wisdom in the sight of the nations. So pray unto thee in the time when thou mayest be found. All right, this is a time for the Lord to be found in. Surely in the floods of great waters, or meaning all the tribulation that's gonna come towards us, they shall not come nigh unto him. All right, so nothing's gonna harm us. We're not gonna be in harm's way. We're gonna be preserved. We're not gonna be put in harm's way because we're gonna be preserved, man. Preserved. All right, preserved from that famine. You could even read about that in the book of Job, the 5th chapter. You know how about how we shall laugh at famine and death. Roughly paraphrasing on those lines. You know, so this is coming for our people, man. You know, our people, which is the true believers. All right, because I'm not gonna call no Jake my brother. I'm not gonna call no Tuther my brother. I'm not gonna call no false Israelite my brother. I'm not gonna call no heathen my brother first and foremost. You know, my only brothers here are the Agim that do the will of the Lord. Even Yahweh Shai said that. He that doeth the will of the Father is my brother, my sister, and my mother. You know, so surely in the floods of great waters they shall not come nigh unto him. So we're gonna be preserved, man. We're gonna be preserved. Verse 7, thou art my hiding place. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance. Selah. You know, and the Lord's always been known as a strong tower of refuge. You know what a refuge is? You know, when you're a refugee, you know, trying to save your own life, you know, from the danger in your own country, and you move to a different country for a better life, you know, for safety's sake. That's what we're likened to, you know, a refugee, and that's what the Lord's likened to, being a strong tower. You know, because here it is, the spiritual cannot be compared to the carnal. The carnal is weak and temporary, while the spirit is everlasting, man. You know, so just imagine some Edomite with a gun, but a man of the Lord with that spiritual power being dealt with by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai through the Spirit. You know, who's gonna win on that side? Who's gonna win on that little round, that little tournament? Obviously, the man with no protection, you know, the one with the spiritual power, you know, he's gonna be invincible through the Spirit. So thou art my hiding place. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance. And Salakia. But that was pretty much it. You know, so we got protection coming, Akim. You know, Lord, we're those men. You know, to be preserved from the said perils. Hey, because we've been doing so much, we don't even want to die now, man. We don't want to die 2/3. What we've been enduring. That's a horrible lot to be given, to just die to just be a 2/3, be in this truth, try your hardest, but just die. That sucks, man. We don't want that. We want to be preserved. You know, so with that being said up, this video was edifying. Lord, will we continue to push, and shalom.